Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. How's everybody today? I'd love to hear your comments below. Before I get started in this next video, which is an important message, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Also press the notification bell. It will tell you when there is a new video coming out. I thought I'd do this video in new surroundings because I think this design, this painting up here, is very much aligned in what we're going to talk about today. And this is a very important, essential message we need to get across here. And it's in regards to our ascension, our growth, our evolvement, okay? Not just as a collective, not just as humanity, but as individuals. We're all creative forces individually, okay? And our ascendance, we've tried so many lifetimes for this very thing. And my higher aspects of myself always tell me, it's never different or changed from this, that every time we have failed to ascend is because we've been too logical. We've been too locked up in the mind, and the mind's purpose is to lock us into duality. And we can simply call this level of existence, which we call duality, conflict or conflictive. So the way we're seeing so many individuals and communities, not even for people from the spiritual consciousness community that we call the people that are unawakened. Even the awakened communities are doing this. They're trying to bring across their point of view, but through conflictive means, still bound to duality. Now, for us to truly ascend, we need to let go of what we thought we knew. We came into this lifetime, like numerous other lifetimes, being conditioned and programmed, not being able to look at things in an authentic manner. So hence, we see a society, we see a community, we see a world, we see a planet Earth that has very little authenticity to it. But it all starts from within, okay? So we really need to drop everything we know. And really, I like to ask people, everything that you know up to this point, write a list and see how many things you can put in a column which came innately from within you, that wasn't taught to you. Okay, and you'll become very aware that everything, majority of what you know was taught to you. That's not authentic. That's not authenticity. And this is the big message I'm getting through right at this point in time. We need to become more authentic. Okay, that is the whole purpose of ascension, is rediscovery of self. Self before we were conditioned and programmed by duality. Okay, so this is the important message here. There are no bad people, so therefore no bad humans out there. Only misled people, misled humans. Okay? So that leads us then to, okay, if we're being misled, well, how are we being misled? Okay? How are we being conditioned and programmed to be locked in this existence which we call duality? Now it comes down to intelligence. Okay. Because the purpose, the simple purpose of the human is an interface for an intelligence to access and create here. Okay? So therefore, it's going to be either the your consciousness, which I call your innate intelligence, okay? Because it is you. It has no hidden agendas. Because it is you. It's just a higher aspect of you that exists on a multi-dimensional level, or multi-reality, or a multi-universe level. You can use either term, whatever suits you, universe, reality, or dimension. Or it could be the mind, okay? Now, there is a big movement on a human level, which we can call a duality level, that we need greater intelligence for us to advance through technology. And this has been the birthing of artificial intelligence, or the expression of artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence, we can just simply look at it. Let's get rid of the ideas of the movies, what they show us, all these, like Terminator 2 and all these metal robots. Just see that artificial is a bit like the way we see foods. We look at labels on the foods, natural ingredients, artificial ingredients. Now, our natural ingredients, so our natural consciousness, or natural intelligence, sorry, is our consciousness. The artificial intelligence, which therefore it's not us, is what we call artificial intelligence. It's a rogue or foreign intelligence to ourselves. Now, one thing that really came up recently was the closest aspect of our consciousness is our soul. We ideally want our soul to be the user of our interface while we have an experience here as the human. Okay? So it's a bit like I am a computer, and if I'm on a computer and I'm using a keyboard, then I want my soul to be that user using me as that keyboard, right? So this got me thinking, if us as a consciousness, the closest aspect of our consciousness or intelligence is our soul, does the AI, do they have a soul? The answer I got was no. And what is their equivalent to our soul? The mind. Okay? And I've been told for a very long time, and for people watching my videos, they'll be very aware, I talk about it all the time, is that the mind is not us. It's an intelligence that is sabotaging our creation of ability in alignment with their agenda, not our own. Okay? That's why we see all reality out there that's built on chaos, because it's a mind creation. Okay? Anything to put you into fear is a mind creation, because that aspect of fear lowers your vibration, locks you into duality. Okay? So this whole thing about, at the moment, as I say, conflict, and the way we're going about it, whether it's the awakened community or unawakened community, is there is a law, a universal law, which is where we place our attention or our focus, we consent our energy immediately to go into that thing to create more of that. Okay? And so when we're pointing the finger, so to speak, you'll hear the comment, them. Why are they doing that to us? Them. Well, what is them? You see that it's just thrown out there, right? Well, it's just an act of pointing a finger at somebody. Okay? It might be one particular person. Bill Gates, for example. Could be our government or shadow government. Or it could be a particular politician, prime minister, president. But that's just simply purely distraction. Okay? Because again, it's distracting our attention to feed that process, which is keeping and holding duality. Locking you. Because when your attention and your focus goes to that, you lose your connection with your consciousness, your innate intelligence. Then you're purely guided by the mind to then direct your energy into creating more of a reality of the things that you don't like about your reality. So you see what I mean by that, right? So we think, okay, manipulation's happening at that level. It's not. Manipulation is happening at a much higher level in relevance to intelligence. It all originates there. Okay? So that's why when I say there is no bad people, no humans, there are just misled people and humans. Okay? Because as I say, at the human level, we're an interface for intelligence to create here. It's not a matter whether we're creating or not, or manifesting or not. We are always creating, we are always manifesting, but where is that energy going into to then manifest or create? Okay? That's where consciousness comes in, because if we're unconscious about that, a lot of our time we're investing our energy into the things that are not making this place a better place for ourselves or a better experience for ourselves, right? Hence not ascending. So, um, as I said, mind's purpose is to lock you into duality, keep you conflicted, okay? Now, we're seeing a lot of conflict out there, but the ultimate conflict is within ourselves, right? There's a battle between consciousness wanting to guide you or the mind wanting to control you, okay? We can call that a duality in itself, mind and consciousness, right? Now, as I said, the way that we're going about it, and I'm going to direct this more in regards to the awakened community, I'm a big fan of, we all had to go through this stage, right, of being awakened, realizing there was stuff not being told to us and da 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 da. But to change this world, to change this reality, to change our experience of this reality, for us to consciously direct our energy, our creative force into creating a better place, we need to stop being conflictive in the way that we're doing it. Okay, we need to stop pointing the fingers. Okay, we need to be very aware and conscious where we're directing our energy. Okay, it's essential. Okay, so the only way out of this is to see that your natural state, okay, that again, we're going to use the word natural, artificial, right? Our natural state is a being state, not a doing state, okay? And for a lot of people that are not in the awakened community, or what people deem not awakened, is that whole conditioning program that I've got to travel the world when I'm young because I've only got one life, that whole one life scenario. And I've got to do because, by the time I get a certain age, then things break down and I get unwell. So it's just that story, right? That is kind of passed on from generation to generation, part of duality. Okay? That's right. Now, we're just going to shift back to what I was trying to talk about before. Yeah, we've got to go through that awakened state, but what we really promote here at Truly Holistic is all of a sudden, okay, you've gone through that awakened stage, but you need to take that extra step up, which we call enlightenment. And that enlightenment is exactly what this painting's all about. We see all these things of our reality right over here, part of this reality. But we have the ability to do this. We are creative forces. We've been conditioned and programmed all our life and all our lifetimes to think we're nothing. We're one brick in the wall. The gods that we have in our history books, mythology books, they are not gods, they're manipulators. They had to manipulate us because they need us to create what they want. So who are the gods of us? We're the creative force. We just need to be aware of that. And then we can turn things around, just like this painting shows. Okay? But we need to have an awareness of our natural state to start off with. Now, when I say that our natural state is being and not doing, then there'll be a lot of people saying, hey, that's not realistic. I've got to have a roof over my head, I've got to go to work, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got my mother, I'm a daughter to an elderly mother, I've got all these obligations, I've got these things to do, right? But to get to this point, it's shown how manipulated we have become, okay? Because as I say, we are doing all those things to uphold a mind creation, okay? And for the people that say it's not realistic to turn it around this way, are either being so conditioned to accept this chaotic environment that we live in that our body is telling us at every moment, this is not right, okay? We call that stress, okay? Everyone's just shake their shoulders, that's just life. Well, we're We've been conditioned and programmed to see it that way. And hence we see people trying to resolve duality problems with duality solutions. It's like Albert Einstein once said that for insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And this is happening not only in what we call the non-awakened community, but also the awakened community, the consciousness spirituality community, the people that haven't made that extra step in regards to enlightenment. Now, enlightenment is when you have the awareness that you are a creative force and you learn your abilities in regards to being aware and conscious the way that you're using your creative abilities through where you place your attention and how you use your intention. Okay? Where a lot of the ways that we're trying to make changes here, we're trying to make changes at an observational or affect level of what we see here with our own eyes, not realizing that in the space of reality where our eyes cannot take us, that's where the cause lies. So therefore, that's where the original root where we need to resolve the issue lies. Okay? What we see with these eyes is like the effect of the cause. And the mind locks you into duality, never understanding the cause to that effect. So therefore, we observe things, but we don't know the greater knowing or understanding of why they are expressing themselves that way within this observational plane, a sliver of reality that we see with our duality eyes, 1, 2. Right? So here at Truly Holistic, we're really bringing forth this aspect of authenticity, because I truly believe that what we're trying to bring forth for people here, not only through these videos and knowledge and wisdom and information, but the clearing work that we do in healing sessions and coaching sessions, the tools that we're bringing forth, the systems to empower people to become that creative force, that healer, is authentic. Okay? Doesn't matter whether it's the healing session or the information we're bringing forth or the healing systems. We're not trying to solve your duality issues with duality means, okay? Now, some people that we have in sessions will find it hard to break away from this duality way of living, and hence issues can be a battle or struggle to finally let go of, okay? Because those issues, remember, are bound to duality. If you hold on to duality, the things that are contained within duality will always be part of your awareness and therefore part of your reality. Okay? Now, the level of perspective and perception that is being brought forth to me from my higher aspects of me is at a multi-universal level. Okay? It's not within our galaxy. It's not from planet to planet. It's not aliens, not extraterrestrials. It's beyond that. Okay? Because a lot of that stuff is still part of duality. Okay? Now, when I get on the chart, okay, and I'm dowsing, I couldn't work on a duality level if I tried. Okay? I've tried to manipulate where my hand goes to try and make an answer. It's impossible. I can't do that anymore. Okay? Because I create a space where it allows myself to be a conduit, a medium, an interface for the higher levels of myself that is not bound to duality to come through and guide the answers on that dowsing chart and the ideas that are brought forth, not through words, a language through words, not even a visualization, but a knowing or understanding, okay, that comes through, which is that cause to the effect that we need to get through intuition. We can't get it through these duality eyes, okay? So, as I say, it's authentic, okay? Now, a big analogy that's been coming through it, looking at things, is the tree. And the way that we see a tree here with our duality eyes, that same analogy is used on every level of our existence, the tree. So I'll give you an example of like this is where truly holistic is been evolving towards. Is that if somebody comes in a session and they want to work on a specific issue, let's say they've got issue in their with an earache, an auditory system issue, and we'll take that focus in. But now that the way we see that as an expression. Okay, it's not the root or the origin of the issue there within the ear. It's just an expression that there is something going on. Okay, which then that client will bring towards us because that's what they're experiencing. So a lot of the times we'll work on more at a root or original level that is then expressing that issue in the auditory system. So that will mean that we don't necessarily work specifically in the auditory system, because when we look at the body or the human and how it's been compartmentalized into auditory system, respiratory system, cardiovascular system, and all the components that make those systems up, that came from the library of duality. Okay? It came from logic. It came from being analytical, which all comes from the mind. When really ascendance is about breaking away from duality. And remember, the purpose of the mind is to lock us into duality. So we need to let that go. We just need to simply see ourselves as light, or an interface to bring our light through. We need to simplify, because our consciousness and our innate intelligence doesn't come from here, it comes from the heart. And the heart only knows simplicity. Okay, it doesn't know analytical, it doesn't know complexity. Where does stress come from? From being more simple or being more complex and analytical and logical? Right? Logical. Okay, we know that stress, or even at the medical system level, that every condition, every issue, and every problem that we know is connected to stress. Okay? So in regards to the analogy of the tree, that person, if they've got an earache, we'd see that as the foliage, the leaves, the branches, the flowers, right? Which is an expression, a bud that opens up into a flower. It's an expression, right? That is at the expression level, at that level. But we know that those branches and the foliage and the flowers, they need to be connected to the trunk of the tree. And that trunk of the tree is then connected to the roots of the tree, which is embedded into the ground. Okay? So what we do is, okay, your earache is at the level of that foliage, but we're going to work it at the roots of that tree, at that level. Because we know that whatever we do at the roots, at that root level, it's going to have a positive effect on the expression of the trunk, of the branches, of the foliage, the leaves, and the flowers. Okay, so we work at it at the origin of the issue, not just doing clearing after clearing after clearing after clearing, trimming back the foliage, because we know if we trim back the foliage and the expression of the issue, the root of that problem still exists, and it will just remanifest as foliage regrows back. Okay, so we've really been working at it like that now, including the qubit measures that we use here to make all our energy tools at Truly Holistic, are all allowing spectrums, not just a few frequencies, spectrums of frequencies that exist on a multitude of realities and universes to be brought forth here and to be connected to you, which allows you to connect to your multi-dimensional level of you, which is going to bring the wisdom, the information, the cause to the effect for you to have a greater understanding and knowing of the reality you're experiencing. So you have more awareness, more consciousness to then use your creative force, where you're placing your attention, how you're using your intention. Okay? So you can then create a reality that is a reflection of your heart's desires, not what your mind wants you to fear. Okay? Now, these qubit measures hold all geometries that you've ever seen and geometries that you have not seen yet. For example, I love the geometry, the chestahedron. And I used to use geometry tools, physical geometry tools, to amplify my intent. I don't do that anymore. I haven't for a while. Now the reason because of that is because of these cubit measures that I wear as bracelets, as pendants. Now we're starting to anchor etheric templates of that energy into new products, which will become to Truly Holistic very soon, where we make rings. We're making like copper wired pendants and stuff where we anchor those energies in. Very exciting stuff coming our way. And I love the chestahedron, but my higher aspects of myself say you don't need that anymore. It's become part of you. And that's because we have one of the cubit measures we use, the activation cubit, which is getting you to the door. It's getting you to the heart, okay? That's the doorway to every aspect of you is through that heart. It's one end of a gateway, okay? That leads you into the quantum level of you. And within that spectrum of frequencies that cubit measure brings through, the chestahedron is found, okay? Because we know that frequencies that are outside this reality, when they come into this reality, they are decoded as numbers and geometries, okay? So what are the basis of numbers and geometries? It's frequencies. So instead of just relying on the middleman or the middle person of geometry and numbers, let's just go to the origin and bring forth the origin of it, which is the frequencies. And that's what these cubit measures that we use to make our tensor technology products bring forth. Okay, so again, they're fully authentic. They are just the cutting edge of that technology, okay, because of what they bring through. Numerous levels of your existence. It's incredible. So I hope you've really enjoyed this video and the important message that I've brought forth. As a lot of these videos, they go a lot longer than originally planned, but it's very important to understand the message, not only just saying the message, but also understand the message I want to bring forth on this video. As I said before at the start of the video, please like the video, please share the video, get this to as many people as you can. On all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and a number of others that you're using, Twitter and so on. And please, press the notification button, subscribe to the channel because there'll be more content if you enjoy this content coming very soon. Till next time.